properly, and chanting and hearing, everything is guaranteed. Sometimes we think, oh, Prabhupada said chant and hear, but I'm pretty sure there is something more than that. I think we have to imagine something, think of something, conceive of something in the mind. But Srila Jiva Goswami in the Sandarbhas, he explains, Shuddhe cha antakarane, that the pastimes of Krishna will manifest in the heart when the heart becomes cleansed. And the step to make the heart cleansed is Shravanam. Srila Jiva Goswami explains, and that is what Srila Prabhupada explains to all of us, that we simply have to hear the holy name. Why? Because Krishna, who's sitting in the heart, when he sees that we are attentively hearing his name, dhunoti sarvam hridhi sannivishtaha, Krishna sitting in the heart will cleanse our heart, seeing that we are sincerely chanting. Valmiki Muni, how did he become empowered? He was Ratnakar before. He was a sinner before. How did the sinner become a saint? It is described, he just took shelter of the holy name. And that too, he didn't chant it the straight way. He didn't chant Rama, he chanted Ma Ra. One of my dear devotee friends was telling me, when he was growing up in his home, he had a servant. And that servant was very sinful. He was into meat eating and intoxication and gambling and all bad habits. So when he was dying, he was on his departure bed. This friend of mine, who was still young, he was telling him, say Ram, Ram, Ram. And the servant was trying, and he would say, I can speak whatever I can, but this name doesn't come on my tongue. When we are sinful, Krishna's name doesn't appear on the tongue. We can check, we can touch our own heart and check the pulse of our own consciousness. What is the taste in describing the faults of others? We are enthusiastic with 5 mouths. I'm at least talking about myself. But when I sit with my japa bead bag, either I'm looking around on who's not chanting properly, or with the finger that comes out, it's almost like Prabhupada said, the finger that comes out of the bead bag. Well, don't worry, I know you have to browse the internet and you have to be on social media. I understand. So let me allow one finger out. I'm talking about the things that I do. Maybe it doesn't apply to all of you, but I'm just talking about from my experience. Either looking around or sleeping. Sometimes the beads are also like completely strangulated like this. It's almost like the beads are saying, you don't touch us. Anybody and everybody can chant, but not you. And sometimes the beads fall from our hand. You're chanting. And we don't even realize. For some time it's like I'm actually moving my finger. Then I realize, oh, where are the beads? Or sometimes it's racing against time. Looking at the clock. I've seen devotees keep even stopwatch. So almost like I have to finish it that fast. Think about when someone comes and sits with us, and then when we're talking to them, they have a stopwatch on. And we're like, what about the stopwatch? No, I have only so much time, so I just want to make sure I don't go over that time when I talk to you. Then we say, well, you carry on, I'll talk to you later. And that's just you and me. Think about Krishna. Think about Krishna, the backbone of all spiritual life. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there are 64 limbs of bhakti given by Rupa Goswami. But Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada says, those 64 limbs can be narrowed down to one limb, and that is the chanting of the holy name. If we chant attentively, it is our experience too, that if we wake up early in the morning and we chant 2 hours of chanting 16 rounds, we feel that our whole day goes well. It's like a jar where we put the big stones first and then the small pebbles fit in, and then the sand definitely fits in. But think, when we wake up late and we start doing all other things and it's like 5 o'clock in the evening, 6 o'clock in the evening, 16 rounds still left. It's like a jar which is full of sand and pebbles and the big stones are still out. And that causes frustration. Brahmacharis and Grihasthas both chant between 5 and 7. 1 a.m., 1 p.m., that's all. Brahmacharis chant in the morning and Grihasthas chant in the evening. That's the only difference. If we prioritize our chanting, Krishna prioritizes us. This process is so important that it is described in the pastime of Putana. When Putana was trying to kill Krishna, and then somehow Krishna mysteriously escaped and ended up liberating her, Mother Yashoda went running on the body of Putana and lifted baby Krishna from her chest. And the first thing that she did was marking the 12 parts of Krishna's body with the holy names of Krishna. She took cow dung and made tilak out of it. And she put 12 parts of tilak on the body of Krishna with the names of Krishna. So what we are trying to say is Krishna's holy name is so powerful that it can even protect Krishna, what to speak of you and me. Brahma Rakshasa Yakshanam Durotsarana Karanam. Anyone who calls out to the name of Krishna, the ghosts, the goblins, the evil spirit, the black magic, can't even come in that direction. What to speak of attack the person. And I am not saying this. Na yatra shravanadini rakshognani swakarmasu kurvanti satvatam bhartur yatu dhanyascha tatrahi. Bhagavatam describes, O Maharaj Parikshit, please don't worry. Putana cannot touch Krishna. That place where there is loud chanting of the holy name, Putana can't enter. What to speak of that Gokul where Krishna is actually present. Valmiki Muni couldn't chant the holy name. But then when he started chanting it the other way, he said Ma Ra, but the Lord started hearing later. Ma Rama 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 Ram 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 Ram. And by this constant chanting, there was an anthill formed over him, and the ants had eaten up his whole flesh. Valmiki means he who is made out of anthill. And then, when Brahmaji appeared before him and instructed him to write the Ramayana, Valmiki said, what value will my words carry? Lord Brahma said, because you have chanted the holy name and perfected your life. Tavat tishthanti girayah saritascha mahitale tavat rama katha kirtim tvatkrita prachanishyati. In the Valmiki Ramayana it is described, Brahmaji said, because you have chanted the holy name of Ram, I empower you. Till the time the mountains exist on earth and the sacred rivers flow, O Valmiki, I empower you. Your Ramayana will be sung on every tongue possible. So when we chant the holy name, we get empowered by Krishna to serve him in miraculous ways. To sincerely chant the holy name means to take shelter of Krishna. All great personalities did this. Prahlad Maharaj called out to Krishna. Gajendra called out to Krishna. Draupadi called out to Krishna. Dhruva Maharaj called out to Krishna. Ambarish Maharaj called out to Krishna. There is not one devotee who got Krishna by neglecting the holy name. No, not one example. But there is 100% example of anyone and everyone who took shelter of Krishna's name. Krishna comes running. Where is it said? Hari sada vase tatra yatra bhagavata jana gayanti bhakti bhavena harer namaiva kevalam. That Krishna leaves Vaikuntha and Hari sada vase tatra. He doesn't come. He resides. Not temporarily, permanently. Hari sada vase tatra. Krishna eternally takes residence in that place where pure devotees with all their heart call out to his holy names. Sa guru, sa pita chapi, sa mata bandhavopi sa, shikshaye chet sada smartum harer namaiva kevalam. Nilkantha Goswami has said, that person is our teacher, that person is our mother, that person is our father, that person is our guru, that person is our ever well-wishing best friend who reminds us to chant the holy name. This generation is really astonishing. आश्चर्यमेतद् हि मनुष्य लोके सुधाम परित्यज्य विषम पिबन्ति Namani narayana gocharani tyaktva anya vacha kuhaka pathanti. Kulashekar Alvar in the Mukundamala Stotra he writes, it is astonishing. Ashcharyam etad hi manushya loke sudham parityajya visham pibanti. Aha. All glories to mankind in the age of Kali Yuga. Kulashekar writes, you have given up nectar and you're eager to drink poison. What is nectar? Namani Narayana Gocharani, the names of Narayana. And Tyaktva Anya Vacha Kuhaka Patanti, giving up the names of Krishna, we're discussing mundane subject matters. It is wasting the time of the speaker and the listener, and there's no change. We may sit and discuss. I think the president should do this. I think Narendra Modi should do this. I think Sachin Tendulkar should have hit a shot like this. These are the discussion topics. Now what's happening? I am wasting my time, you're wasting your time, and Sachin is not listening to our conversation anyway. It's not that Narendra Modi says, please both of you discuss and tell me what I should do. Shishyasteham shadhimam tuam prapannam. I am a soul surrendered to both of you, please. Nothing happens. Sulabam Bhagavan Nama. Jivhacha Vashavartini Tathapi Narakam Yantim Kim Ashcharyamata Param. Yudhishthir Maharaj was asked, what is the most astonishing thing? And he said, Ahani Ahani Bhutani Gachanti Yamalayam Shesha Sthavaram Icchanti Kim Ashcharyamata Param. That everyone is dying around us, but those who are alive still think, this happened to him, it happened to her, it happened to them, it won't happen to me. If that is astonishing, Yudhishthir Maharaj says there is something even more astonishing than this. So we all know the first part of the story, but there's something that he follows up after that. Please kindly repeat. Sulabham Bhagavan Nama Jivhacha Vashavartini Tathapi Narakam Yantim Kimashcharyamata Param. The holy name is free of cost. Sulabham Bhagavan Nama, easy to utter. It's not like you have to chant Bhukhandam Baranandam Paravara Viratam Dampatam Poru Dampam Dim 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 Dahamapi Dahamai Dhampa Jampaish Jampaihi Tulyas Tulyas Tutulya Dhuma Dhuma Dhumakai Kum Kumankai Kumankai Etatte Purna Yuktam Maharaharaha Patumam Narasimham. Imagine if this was the Mahamantra. And then 16 rounds. Then the initiation line will be the spiritual master will have to say, I am giving initiation, somebody come at least. And the disciple will say, not ready Maharaj, next year. Huh? But this is not how difficult the holy name is. Just 4 syllables. Narayana, bas. Mriyamano harer nama grinan putro pacharita ajamilopya gadhama kim utashraddhaya grinan. Yudhishthir Maharaj is saying there, Sulabham Bhagavan Nama, the name is so simple to chant. Acha, then we can say, well, it is simple to chant, but I don't have my tongue. I left my tongue at home. I forgot my tongue somewhere, I can't find it. He's saying, no, Jivhacha Vashavartini. Krishna is so kind, he has fit the tongue in the mouth. Wherever we go, the tongue follows. The holy name is easily accessible. It is simple to pronounce. You can even chant it backwards. Rama, even Mara worked for Valmiki. Not just that, in the Hari Bhakti Vilas it is described, even if the holy name is chanted with breaks, it is still going to work. Like for example, please everyone say, Raja, Mahishi. Congratulations, you said king and queen in Sanskrit. Raja and Mahishi. But that's not what the Lord heard. He took the first syllable of Raja, that is, and he took the first syllable of Mahishi, and that is, and he combined them together and gave you the benefit of chanting Ram. This is how kind the Supreme Lord is. Even if we fill syllables between the holy name, the Lord deletes that and gives you the benefit. Sulabham Bhagavan Nama. Acha, even if the pronunciation is not right, sometimes Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, even Krishna is wondering, bhai, tu bula kisko raha hai? Whom are you calling? Whose name are you chanting? Huh? It's like, sometimes you have these mosquitoes which... I'm talking about my chanting, not a blanket statement. But still it works. There are different devotees from different backgrounds. Now even in India you see, the word Krishna is pronounced in different ways. In South India, if you go, they will say Krishnan, Ramakrishnan, Ramabala Subramanyam, right? Krishnan, Ramanan, they will add an N at the end. Now if you go to Bengal, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. The same if you come to Maharashtra, Krishna. Mag Krishna aale hote, ghari aale hote, Krishna. Krishna becomes Krishna. You go to Vrindavan, Kanhaiya. Now you please tell me what Sanskrit root is Kanhaiya? Kishan, Kanha, Kanua. Krishna accepts all of that. So Krishna doesn't have a problem even if there are breaks between the syllables. Krishna doesn't even have a problem in the pronunciation. Krishna doesn't even have the problem in the order. Krishna doesn't have a problem in who's chanting, when, where and how. Sanketyam parihasyam stobam helanameva vaikuntha nama grahanam asheshagaharam vidu. Someone is just coughing. Krishna. That Krishna is not to call Krishna. It's just a natural reflex because of our coughing. Yeah, like that. Just add the name Krishna, then it's perfect example. Or sometimes you can go, Krishna. Sneezing, coughing. And most popular, lovable example during classes, yawning. You don't see it, I see it. Even at that time, if you add the name Krishna, perfect. Ayurveda describes, Aushadam cha smaret Vishnu, that even while taking medicines, remember the holy name of Vishnu. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, Canto 10, Chapter 6, text 27, 28, 29, purport. Srila Prabhupada writes that if you're not able to chant the whole name, and if you find it difficult to even remember the Mahamantra, then when you're taking medicines, just say Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. Prabhupada writes. During taking medicines, yawning, sneezing, coughing, falling from somewhere. Let's say you're in a car and you change lane and you get some honking from the back and it's like, oh my God, I would have dashed into someone. Krishna, Krishna. Krishna accepts even that. Or sometimes someone is asking, where is the temple? Temple. Okay, you go straight, then to the left you will find Ramnagar. Behind Ramnagar, there is a building called Harinivas. That is the temple. Now his intention is to show the direction. But while doing so, he has chanted the holy name twice. Ramnagar, behind that is Harinivas. Sanketyam, to sanket, to direct. Krishna even accepts that chanting. Parihasyam, to make fun. Look at these Hare Krishnas. They're always there everywhere. Always on the roads, wearing bed sheets around their waist, walking Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. What are these people? Some people may talk like that. Krishna will forgive their offense because they're chanting the holy name. Krishna gives them the benefit of chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Or Stobam. Stobam means musical entertainment. Like for example, you're singing a song and between two lines there is some place. So you fit in a holy name. Jaya Jaya Deva Hare. There's gap. So you can add a name. Hare Jaya Jaya Deva Hare. There's more gap. Hare Jaya Jaya Deva Hare. Will this Hare give us benefit? Yes, Stobam. Or Helanam by mistake, accidentally. Vaikuntha Nama Grahanam Asheshaga Haram Vidu. It is described even by such accidental chanting. Sins are destroyed. Kim uta shraddhaya granan. Then what to speak of attentive, intentional, focused, purposeful, devotional chanting? Who can equate that? So Yudhishthir Maharaj is saying, Sulabam Bhagavan Nama, Jivha cha Vashavartini. Tongue is fit in the mouth, holy name is freely available. Tathapi narakam yanti. Still people somehow manage to reach hell. Kim uta shraddhaya grinan. Kim ashcharyam ataha param. What can be more astonishing than that? Krishna is trying to block all doors so that we don't go to hell. And somehow, we make our way. Yudhishthir Maharaj is saying, Kim ashcharyam ataha param. What can be more astonishing? Ajamil called out once. Shukdev Goswami has described, look at the situation of Ajamil's call. For those of us who don't know Ajamil, just a quick 30-second intro to who he was. He was a Brahmana who had gone into the forest to collect some firewood, ended up seeing a prostitute there, got attracted to her. He was already married, left his wife, left his parents, chased the prostitute, got her home, and all his life he spent time with her. But it just so happened, when his youngest son was 4 years old, Ajamil was more than 80. So you can think, all his life he absorbed himself in sense gratification. But then when his child was really young, some sadhus, some great souls walked past, and Ajamil asked them, all my life I have lived like a complete wretched person. I was born a Brahmana. I somehow left Brahminical culture. I left my wife. I ousted my parents and I married this prostitute, and my life has gone in the dungeons, it's gone in vain. How do I get rid of all my sins? The sadhu said, well, you have only few days left. You can't do much, but at least the son who you have, you just name him Narayan and just keep calling him. Everything will be fine. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Ajamil, the day he named his son and called him Narayan, all his sins were burnt to ashes. One call. And after that, when he was chanting, he was only building his spiritual credit. At the time of death, when Yamadutas came, put the noose around his neck, Ajamil helplessly called out to his son, Narayana. And as soon as he called, the Vishnu Dutas appeared. They cut the noose of the Yamadutas, and the Yamadutas couldn't believe what's happening. Shukdev Goswami describes, there were a few conditions under which Ajamil chanted. Step number 1, Mriyamano. He didn't chant all his life, he only chanted at the time of death. And how about devotees of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness? Do they chant only at the time of death? Every single day, Prabhupada said. That's point number 1. Second, Granan Putropacharitaha. He called out to his son. And what do devotees do? When they call out, they don't call out to their son, they call out to Krishna. Third point, Ajamil broke all 4 regulative principles all his life. And devotees follow 4 regulative principles. Still he went back home, back to Godhead. Ajamilopyagat dhama kimuta shraddhaya grinan. If Ajamil, being completely sinful, chanting only at the time of death and calling out to his son, he can go back home, back to Godhead, then where is the doubt of devotees who wake up early in the morning, sit down and chant attentively, calling out to Krishna, not to their son, every single day, not only at the time of death, and following the regulative principles, not leading a sinful life? What is the doubt? Where is the concern? Whether or not they will go back home, back to Godhead. The curtains confirm what we are saying. Shri Shri Kishore Kishori ki. Did we just see that? As we were saying, the Lord will accept us, the curtains opened. Krishna is saying, you just chant. The curtains of anarthas and aparar, I will open it with my own hands. I am there for you. The damstri damstra hatom lecho haram iti punah punaha uktvapi mukti mapnoti kim punah shraddhaya granan. Namacharya Haridas Thakur has explained that once upon a time, there was a man from the Islamic background, and he was in the middle of the forest attending nature's call. And at that time there was a wild boar which looked at him and started chasing him with tusks. And he didn't know what to do. He was in a helpless situation. So he started running for his life. And this wild boar with very sharp tusks started coming chasing him. And because he was from an Arabic background, he looked at the wild boar and said, Haram, which means abominable. And the tusk went through his body and the boar finished him to death. But it's described, when he said Haram, the Supreme Lord heard it as Haram. So if somebody says Haram, not even intending to call the Lord, and the Lord hears Haram, then think about those devotees who actually say Haram. Dear devotees, we have the treasure of our life. Can you imagine the level of sacrifice that has gone in the last 500 years just so that these beads come into our hand? From one generation to another, there are acharyas who have been whipped for preaching the chanting of the holy name. There have been acharyas whose books have been stolen. There have been acharyas sitting under trees. There have been acharyas who have gone without food, selflessly writing books, preaching, praying, blessing, empowering, only so that these beads successfully reach our hands to this very day. And what do? These beads, along with the bead bag, is on a nail somewhere at our home. Faasi ki saza ho gayi. We nail it. And it's almost like again and again chanting, and then in the middle, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Then after again 2 more minutes, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It's almost like Krishna is saying, you don't want to chant, you don't chant. I'm not keeping a gun point or a knife point at you. But when you chant, chant properly. This is the path of affection. It is not the path of a God-fearing mood. It is a path of affection. It's completely fine to chant slowly. It's not an offense. Haridas Thakur was whipped in 22 marketplaces for chanting Hare Krishna. And he said, Khanda khanda deha jaye jadi jaye pran, tabu vadane na chodibu harinam. Even if you want to cut my body to pieces, even if you want to break my bones, even if you want to have my blood smeared through the street, I have no problem. But I can't stop chanting Krishna's name. In fact, Haridas Thakur, with every whip, he was saying, Haribol! They were saying, stop chanting! Haribol! And it just so happened, those tormentors, they were hearing the pure vibration chanted by Haridas Thakur. So, by hearing, by Shravanam, what happens is Kirtanam. So now they were saying, Haribo! 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 And because they were chanting Harinam, Haridas Thakur was in more ecstasy. The pleasure of hearing another person chant Krishna's name was way more than the pain of being whipped. Can you imagine the level of compassion? Krishna has said in the Bhagavad Gita, Satatam kirtayanto mam, chant constantly, don't stop. When Srila Prabhupada was asked by Lokanath Maharaj that some people are chanting 25 rounds on Ekadashi. Prabhupada said, yes. Lokanath Maharaj said, Prabhupada, some are chanting 25 rounds. You said 16 rounds. Prabhupada said 16 minimum. Why only 25? Why not 16,000? This was Prabhupada's standard, gold standard. Prabhupada said, stop all these meetings. There's a letter of Prabhupada. No more meetings. He said meetings means resolutions, revolutions, dissolutions, and finally no solutions. Prabhupada said, instead chant Hare Krishna. Everything will be revealed. We should make it a point, walking out of today's discussion, that I will not abuse my chanting anymore. Enough. Whatever I have done, let bygones be bygones. From tomorrow, I am going to prioritize my chanting. Look, we get good at whatever we practice. We get good at whatever we practice. So if we chant inattentively and we practice doing that every day, we get good at it. And we can inattentively chant even in the most conducive environment because we have gotten good at it. Just like you can get good at something by doing it properly, you can get good at something by not doing it properly. Like you'll get good at not doing it. And that's what's happened. Japa, haan, theek hai. Kirtan, haan, theek hai. It's almost like, oh, the speaker hasn't come. Prabhu, can you do 10 minutes of kirtan? It's almost like kirtan is the filler before the actual thing starts. And when the kirtan is going on, I can take phone calls, I can do other things because the actual program hasn't started yet. But the point is, all the classes are geared only towards one thing, teaching us to take shelter of Krishna's name. Kirtan is the actual thing. The class is spoken to inspire the kirtan. Japa is the main thing. Kirtan is the main thing. Haridas Thakur chanted 300,000 names of Krishna. And Mahaprabhu announced him as the Namacharya. Mahaprabhu in his Shikshashtakam, which is the crest jewel of all teachings, he says, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Constantly chant. Don't stop. So what does that mean? Is it that we should always have our beat bag? To the best whenever we can. But if that is not possible, the tongue should move. If the whole Mahamantra is not possible, keep one name in the mouth, Krishna. And where is the proof for that? See, there's no value of what I'm saying if I make up something in my head. So everything that I say, I must substantiate it with Praman. So Mahaprabhu, who taught us the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, also taught us Krishna, 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 Krishna. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Krishna, 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 Hey. If we are working, if we are cooking, we are driving, why have the tongue just like that? We never know when our last breath will come. We never know when the body will hang down in death. We never know how many more sunrise and sunsets we have. The COVID pandemic actually ripped off all the mask of our illusion and got the reality in front of us, where people were dying left, right, center. We never know when that last day will come. Every day is the last day. The tongue should just keep saying Krishna, 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 Krishna. Krishna, 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 Krishna. However sinful we have been, Yamadutas cannot touch us. Alam 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 eka praninam patakanam nirasana vishaye ya Krishna Krishna tivani yadi bhavati mukunde bhaktir ananda sandra karatalasa mokshak samrajya lakshmi. Mukundamala Stotra Kulashekar Alvar has said, don't ever say again that you're sinful, he says. Take one vrat from today that your tongue will never go free. It's always going to be engaged chanting the holy name of Krishna. And you don't even have to audibly all the time loudly do it. You're in an assembly, you can just go. Lips. Now we will say, well, how does Krishna know and give me the credit that I am chanting? That is why mercifully He is sitting as Paramatma. And He knows our intention. Mahaprabhu said constantly chant. Haridas Thakur constantly chanted. At least we can start off by doing our 16 rounds properly. Keeping the target of chanting the holy name of Krishna constantly, when we chant our 16 rounds, some rules for now. First and foremost, it is most effective to chant the holy name before 7 a.m. Who is saying this? Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj says this. The ideal time to chant, he says, is between 3 and 7 in the morning. He says 3 to 7, but if not, at least we can take time between 3 and 7. Find a place where it's quiet, and one place, every day same place, no changing places. One place which is your place, where you sit and chant. Have the deities next to you or sit next to the deities. If that's not possible, at least have a tulsi plant. It is described Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted in front of tulsi. And if sometimes he's chanting and there's no tulsi, Swarup Damodar would go and bring a tulsi plant and install in the place where Mahaprabhu is chanting. Sit down and chant. Sit in a place where you can comfortably chant. If sitting down is a problem, sit on a chair. Sit where you're comfortable, where you don't have to move. Walking and chanting is okay when you're very tired. But when we walk and chant, when we are alert, what happens is the eyes are open. And you have to see the light is on, the tap, water is tipping. The shoes are not properly arranged. The clothes were put on the laundry dryer, in the washer, but we forgot to put it on the dryer. Things like this go on in the mind as you're chanting. We don't want to do that. So sitting in one place, whether on the floor or on the chair, sitting and chanting and only chanting. Maximum we can have a bottle of water next to us when the throat gets parched, and no talking to anyone. Our chanting should be such that people should get scared to come and talk to us at that time. No talking to anybody. Now is the time with Krishna. Param Pujyapad Lokanath Maharaj explains, in the Juhu temple, some devotees had come to meet Giriraj Maharaj. And His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj was chanting japa, and Lokanath Maharaj went and told His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj that some devotees have come to meet you. His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj said, please tell them I'm busy. Then later, Lokanath Maharaj asked, but Maharaj, you're just chanting. He said, I'm chanting because this is my meeting with Krishna. I just want to chant with my heart. When I chant, I want to speak to Krishna. Please give me some taste. Oh Krishna, with every name that I'm chanting, my anarthas are getting dissolved. Every name that I'm chanting, my sins, my offenses, the dark side of my consciousness is all being dissolved. And with every name that I'm chanting, all good qualities are coming in me. My Lord, with all my heart, although I don't always feel it, at this moment I take shelter of your holy name. My Lord, during the day, when my consciousness goes to ups and downs, may this name come to my tongue. Even if the mind goes somewhere, we try to bring it back to the chanting of the holy name on the basis of what we may have read or heard. Thinking something that we may have heard, taking some inspiration, again chanting nicely. Let's prioritize this. Let's try it. If you find it difficult, go 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Then you can take a break. But when you chant, let it go, let it flow. Our aim should be 2, 3, 4 hours, one asana. Eyes are closed, the holy name is being chanted with one pointed attention. And then when we open our eyes, it's a different world altogether. We want that level of meditation. The last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam says, Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Shamanastam Namami Harim Param. I bow down to that Hari whose name when chanted, Sarva Papa Pranashanam, all sins get destroyed. 4 syllables of the holy name, Narayana, pass. It cut the ropes of Yamaraj. Then we will say, well, 4 syllables is too much. Can we have a discount? In Kali Yuga, who has time to chant 4 syllables? And that itself is a discount, by the way. We should have been chanting Vishnu Sahasranam. Parvati Devi very kindly on our behalf asked Lord Shiva, Kena upayena laghuna Vishnur nama sahasrakam patyate pandite nityam shrotum ichhamyaham prabho. Oh Lord Shiva, you have chanted the 1,000 names of Vishnu, but devotees in the metropolitan city, my children, Mother Parvati is saying, they have no time, 30 minutes to chant the Vishnu Sahasranam, 1,000 names. So Lord Shiva said, Shri Rama, Rama, Rama iti. How many syllables is that? No, 6. Rama, Rama, Rama. So therefore I'm a trickster. Sometimes I just said Rama, Rama, Rama. But it's 6 syllables. Rama, Rama, Rama. 6 syllables. Lord Shiva said. We said 6 syllables is too much. Can we have a discount? So then it came to 4 syllables. Narayana. We still found that to be difficult. Krishna, is there a discount? 4 बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया भाई. थोड़ा कम कर दो. Can I have a discount? Krishna said, okay, I'll reduce 1 more syllable. 3 syllables. Okay. What name is that? Govinda. Gokoti danam grahane khagasya Prayag Gango Daka Kalpavasam Yajnayutam Meru Suvarna Danam Govinda Kirte Nasamam Shatam Shaihi. Skanda Puran describes, just say go. Let's do one after another. Go, win, da. Now we get the benefit of chanting Govinda. Bhagavatam describes this verse in the purport by saying, when you say go, you get the benefit of doing Go Koti Danam. You get the benefit of offering 10 million cows in charity by just saying go. And then when you say win, Prayaga Gango Daka Kalpavasam, you get the benefit of taking dip in Ganga for the lifetime of Brahma. Just by saying win. And then if someone says da, Yajnayutam Meru Suvarna Danam, you get the benefit of performing yajnas and gifting the Brahmanas one mountain of gold in return. Now we can't believe all this, but Shastra says it. Then we say 3 syllables is good. But when we actually try, go, vil, da, then we say, Krishna, 3 syllables is too much. Can I have a discount? Maybe 2 syllables. Krishna said, what's the problem with 3 syllables? See, go is okay, da is okay, but the middle syllable has 2 sounds. Vin. Vi and na, vin. So go, vin, da, it's too tongue twisted. Something simple. Krishna said, okay, I will reduce it to 2 syllables now. Ma. 2 syllables. Rama. 2 syllables. Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam Valmiki Muni Simhasya Kavita Vanacharinaha Shrunvan Rama Kathanadam Konu Yantim Param Gati. It is described just by saying Rama. The benefit of chanting 24,000 verses of Valmiki Ramayana is gotten just by saying Rama. Rama. We get the benefit of chanting whole Valmiki Ramayana. So in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, therefore you see 3 words, all 2 syllables. Hari, 2 syllables. Krishna, 2 syllables. Rama, 2 syllables. And when they are put together, the word Hari takes away all our sins. The word Krishna attracts us to Krishna's lotus feet. And the word Rama gives us the darshan of the divine couple. Ra is Radha. And Ma is Madhusudan. So Hari takes away all our sins, Krishna attracts us to the lotus feet, and Rama gives darshan of Kishore Kishori. So in this way, when we chant the holy name, 2 hours in the morning, with full focus, attentively, every single day. Next visit when I come, we can again have another session, and then we can discuss how our chanting has been from this trip to that trip. Harinam Prabhu ki, Harinam Sankirtan Mahayajna ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari. Thank you very much. I am okay, Prabhuji, but I thought it was Damadrashtakam time. I am okay to take questions. Okay, sure. Couple of questions. Maybe the mic can go around so that everyone can hear the question. Anybody? Questions?
Hare Krishna, thank you for the class. You mentioned Yashoda Maya putting the names of Krishna on his body. How did that not make her realize that her son is God if she is saying, like, wouldn't she say Vishnu's names or something? Just so you could clarify.
Mother Yashoda would think her child is a normal child. Trayacha Upanishadbhicha Sankhya Yogaischa Satvatai Upagiya Manam Mahatmyam Hari Samanyatatmajam. That Krishna who is described as the Supreme Lord in the Vedas, Mother Yashoda out of excess love would see him as her own child. And then when he would do miraculous things, she would think Vishnu is so pleased with her husband, Nanda Baba, that out of love, he's entering the body of her son and doing everything and then going back. But her son is normal. Understand?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for such wonderful explanations and motivation to chant the Mahamantra. I just wanted to request you to briefly touch the importance of chanting offenselessly, because we always hear that one should chant offenselessly. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Bhajan madhye sarvasreshta navavida bhakti, Krishna prema Krishna dite dhare mahashakti, Tar madhye sarvasreshta naam sankirtan, nir aparada namalaile paye premadhan. There are 10 offenses to the holy name. This is given in the Padma Puran. It is described, if we commit those offenses and we chant the holy name, then it will take a long time to fructify. But if we want the results of the holy name the fastest, then we should make sure that we don't commit those 10 offenses. Why? Because it's like saying, let's say when a sadhu comes home, let's say a pure devotee comes home, and one person is washing his lotus feet, and another person is keeping him on gunpoint. You think that is sadhu seva? No. That is not. Chaitanya is very confident about that. It's not sadhu seva. It's not service. So similarly, the holy name is like the sadhu. And on one hand, we are washing the lotus feet, which means we are chanting. And on the other hand, we are keeping him on gunpoint by criticizing the devotees who chant the holy name. It's one thing to serve the holy name, but it is the same holy name that others are chanting. So when I criticize a Vaishnava who's chanting the holy name, I don't believe in the holy name. Because I'm saying that person's faults are so high that his chanting also won't work on him. If I believe in the power of the holy name, I should not be seeing anybody's faults, because I know those faults are just temporary. Chanting the holy name is going to wash all of them off. But because my faith in the holy name is not so strong, I see the faults of others stronger than the chanting that they're doing. And therefore my chanting is like washing the lotus feet. But seeing the faults in others who are taking shelter of chanting is like keeping the holy name on gunpoint. How can he give his mercy? So therefore Mahaprabhu has said, Kahare na kare ninda, Krishna Krishna bole, Ajaya Chaitanya Shai Jini beka hale, Vaishnavera gunagrahi na dekhaye dosh, Kaya mana vakya kare Vaishnava santosh. That if you want to succeed in the chanting of the holy name, chant constantly, don't criticize the Vaishnavas, serve the Vaishnavas, and take care of the 10 offenses.
Yes. Prabhu, you mentioned in the lecture that 1,000 names of Vishnu is equivalent to one name of Lord Ram. And I think I was hearing another lecture of yours where some Goswami have told that 3 names of Lord Ram is equivalent to one name of Krishna. So when we hear all this, how are we to understand? Like, does it mean that the purification that is that happens by chanting, let's say, one name of Lord Ram is equivalent to the purification that happens while chanting 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu? So, what does that mean as a devotee when we hear these? So, for example, if we go to temple, say they are chanting Om Namo Narayana. So, should we say don't chant that, chant Krishna, because that brings in it's like 1,000 times more. So, how to understand that?
The point is, it is to bring us to the point of understanding with gratitude what we are having in our hand. All the names of the Lord are potent. If someone is chanting the name of Narayana, we are looking at that and we are saying don't chant. Instead of saying don't chant, we should also be saying Narayana. So all the names are powerful. And Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. All the names are power potent. And we could say they are equally power potent. All the names. But as far as Rasa is concerned, one is Aishwaryamai and one is Madhuryamai. The name of Krishna is Madhuryamai. When Mother Yashoda calls Krishna, that name has 3 times or more love than when an associate of Sri Ram calls out to Sri Ram, because one is in the mood that he's God and one is in the mood that I am the mother. You better listen to me. So it is rasa. But as far as tattva is concerned, no difference. Hare Murare Madhukai Thavare Gopala Govinda Mukunda Shaure Yajnesha Narayana Krishna Vishnu Nirashrayam Mam Jagadisha Raksha Govinda Keshava Janardhana Vasudeva Vishvesha Vishwa Madhusudana Vishwarupa Shri Padmanabha Purushottama Pushkaraksha Narayanachuta Nrisimho Namo Namaste. Mahaprabhu chanted this verse, that I bow down to all these holy names. So we shouldn't. I hope that it's a simple question, because I don't have answers to your tough questions. What's your name, first of all?
Manya,
Go ahead.
what happens if you don't chant?
What happens if we don't chant? Srimad Bhagavatam describes, Yamadutas asked Yamaraj, how do we know whom to drag to hell? And Yamaraj gave 3 principles. Jivhana vakti bhagavad gunanamadeyam chetascha tat smarati tat charanaravindam krishnaya no namati tat shira ekadapi tan anayadvamasato krita vishnu krityan. Yamaraj told Yamadutas, if someone doesn't bow their head towards Hari's lotus feet, drag such people to hell. Which means if we get lazy while offering obeisances, we should remember this verse. Second, those who don't remember Krishna in their mind out of gratitude for what he gives us, Yamaraj said, bring such people to hell. And third, Jivha na vakti bhagavad gunanamadheyam. That tongue which doesn't chant the holy name, Yamaraj said, I have doors wide open. But not for you. But still you should chant. Yes.
I just have a quick question here. How come Krishna has so many gates that we can go to where he is, Goloka Vrindavan? How come he goes to manage to go to hell?
The question is, Krishna has so many ways and so many gates to go to Goloka Vrindavan. How is it that people still manage to go to hell? You can go to a place only when you desire to go there. That's right, because you're a good soul. You find that place to be good. There are people who find nightclubs to be good. There are people who find slaughterhouses to be good. There are people who find movie theaters to be good. And then there are rare souls like you who find Goloka Vrindavan to be good. So those who want to go there, Krishna has the doors wide open. But those who don't want, naturally they flow according to their own karma. Is that okay? Yes. Why would somebody want to go to hell? Nobody wants to go to hell. Because they don't want Krishna, naturally they have to go there for punishment. When you break a traffic rule, you naturally get a ticket. It's not that you want a ticket. You get it because you break the rule. Does that make sense? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. You mentioned if you chant, our round sincerely and follow four regulative principle, we will go back home, back to Godhead. So, will it happen in this lifetime?
Goloka Vrindavan is the place which is open for those who have prema, love of Godhead. It is not a place that we can barge into. It is a place that gets opened to those who are pure devotees. So the faster we develop love of Godhead, the faster we can go back home, back to Godhead. As simple as that.
Last question. You have to start. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
It seems like the more we associate with Srimad Bhagavatam, the more personable our relationship with Bhagwan becomes. And then there's also the topic of Nishkam Bhakti, like in Bhagavad Gita. How do we reconcile the two? Do you know kind of what I'm getting at? Like, if you have a personal relationship with someone, you may ask them for anything.
Yes.
But Nishkam Bhakti is saying,
Yes.
don't ask for anything.
Yes, beautiful. So please correct me if I understand the point, your thought process. So your point is, if you have a personal relationship with Krishna, then I can ask him whatever I want. Why do you put a clause that I should have a personal relation, yet I shouldn't ask him anything, correct? So it depends on where we start off. Like there are different verses in Shastra depending on our consciousness. There's one verse which says, Akama sarvakamo va mokshakama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. It says that even if you have no material desires or you're filled with material desires, no problem, just ask Krishna for it. And the example for that is Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj had material desires and he went to Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj had no material desires, he still went to Krishna. So that's the first step. Then as our love for Krishna develops, love means not what I can gain out of Krishna, but what I can give him. Mother Yashoda is not thinking about what I can take from him. She's thinking about what I can give him. The devotee is always thinking, I think I should stitch one more dress for Krishna. I think I should fan him. I think I should have a backdrop like this for Krishna. I think I should make a necklace out of pearls with my own hands. I think I should cook this sweet. I think I should sing this bhajan. They're constantly thinking of what they should offer Krishna out of their love. And the thought that I should ask Krishna something for myself doesn't come, but that's at an advanced stage. But at our level, it's completely fine to go to Krishna and empty your heart. Because if we don't go to him, who else do we have? Ami bina bandhuar ke ache tumar. Mahaprabhu has said this. Apart from me, who else do you have? So we shouldn't go to anybody. We shouldn't go to the demigods. And when we go to Krishna, then no selfish desires. Well, that's a high stage. But at our level, going and speaking to Krishna, my Lord, I am stuck in this problem. Please help me. It's completely fine. Yad karoshi, yad ashnasi, yad juhoshi dadasi yad tapasyasi kauntaya tat kurushva madarpanam. Krishna says at whatever level you are, whatever your thoughts are, offer it to me. At least start from there. And then when love develops, you can become selfless. But if we say that I'm not going to approach him till the time I don't become selfless, we will never approach him. So we have to start from the level where we are, all of us, because we belong to him. Is that okay?
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Wonderful class. So we'll have Damodar Ashtakam now, and there will be Prasad after that. Yeah. Upstairs. Prasad will be upstairs after this.
I really want to thank all of you for being such a wonderful audience. I'll tell you why. It's a Saturday evening, and all of you decided to come. And children, Matajis, Prabhujis, even those who are older in age, everyone sat, and throughout the discussion, sometimes you see in some discussions, the doors are opening, kids are running, phones are ringing, side conversations. But I really want to thank and congratulate all of you. Each one of you were sitting like the way we were talking about during the chanting session. Nobody moved. And you were so attentive. And the questions at the end only inspires me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So we need some help also upstairs for the prasadam serving. If 3 or 4 volunteers can help, that will be great.
Namamishwaram Sachi Danandarupam Dasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Namamishwaram Sachi Danandarupam Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Biyolukhaladavamana Param Vishramatyanto Dodutta Gopya Yashoda Rudantam Muhurnetam Yugmam Jantam Karamboja Yugmena Satanka Netram Mushasakam Patrirekhakakanta Sitagevadamodaram Bhaktivadam Mushasakam Patrirekhakakanta Iti Ananda Kunde Sagosham Nimajantam Akhyapayantam Iti Diksalila Tadishitageshu bhakte jitatva Puna prematastam sata viti vande Tadishitageshu bhakte jitatva Varam deva moksham na moksham vadimma na chanyam rineham varisadapiha Nam moksham na moksham vadimma na chanyam rineham Idam te vapurnatha gopala bala sada me manasya virastam kimane Idam te vapurnatha gopala bala sada me manasya virastam Idam te mukham bojam atyanta nile Vritam kunthale snigdharakti sagopya Idam te mukham bojam atyanta nile Vritam kunthale snigdharakti sagopya Moshamitam bimbaraktadharam me Manasya virastamalam lakshalabe Moshamitam bimbaraktadharam me Manasya virastamalam lakshalabe Namo Deva Damodara अनंत विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःख जलविमग्न कृपादिश्री विश्याति दिनामृतानो गृहाणे समामग्यमिधि अक्षिदेश दृष्टि विश्याति दिनामृतानो गृहाणे समामग्यमिधि आत्मजो बद्धमुचैव यद्वा त्वया मोचितो भक्तिभाजकृतौ च त्वया मोचितो भक्तिभाजकृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्ति सकामे प्रयाच न मोक्षे गो मे श्री दामोदरे तथा प्रेम भक्ति सकामे प्रयाच न मोक्षे गो मे नमस्ते स्तुदामे सूरादित्यदामे त्वदीयो धरायाथ विश्वस्य दामे नमो राधिकाय त्वदीय प्रियाय नमो राधिकाय त्वदीय प्रियाय नमो राधिकाय त्वदीय प्रियाय नमो नान्त लीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम् नमो नान्त लीलाय देवाय हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Damodar, Radha Damodar Radhe, Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe. Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
I gotta eat.